And good morning, all. Linda, my topic for the week is talking about spirituality, that word spirituality. Some of what we've already kind of talked about is that it is a somewhat artificial idea that there is a split between the secular and the spiritual, that's actually more recent times, I don't know, the last couple of 100 years. And that people have very mixed responses to that word spiritual or that word spirituality. So I thought I would read from my previous book, A Woman's Guide to Spiritual Renewal, about what my definition was back in the early 1990s. So I still go along with it. So the subheading, and it is in the introduction, is called Spirituality and Religion. And in the second paragraph, it says, first we talk about religion, but I'm going to jump right to the second paragraph about spirituality. And we wrote, my co-author and I, Carol Newhouse, wrote, in contrast to the containing and organizing function of religion, spirituality is more open-ended. It's about a process or an attitude rather than any specific event. Spirituality refers to a personal inner experience. Therefore, it is different for each of us. Spirituality is about everything that is extraordinary, yet at the same time can be experienced in the most ordinary moments. And listen, and then it goes, listen to the words of women as they speak about their spirituality. Sort of background here. We did something very similar in this book back in the early 1990s that Linda and I did in our book, which is we put in quotes from members of our community. And so here's although we gave them a first name and a little bit of about where they came from, but here's the first one. Spirituality is who I am. It is who I am behind all the masks I wear in daily life. The open, vulnerable part inside me that meets life with both innocence and integrity. It is the moment when I surrender to what is and who I am at my very core. So that was Ellen, a businesswoman who was 45. A different quote, a second quote. My spirituality is about an essential connection to something more, something beyond what I can see and know, a connection to the essence of life. And that's by Diana, school teacher 37. So we all have our own understandings, just like those two did. So I'll talk some about mine, as we do in these talks. So I think most of us long for this thing called spiritual in one way or another. Now, my word for it is the mystery. And I like that. I'm sort of firmly into not having firm ideas of what is beyond me. But then I go and I stare at the night sky and I know there is something beyond, if not in other ways. It's just so visually obvious. Other times I consider the various systems inside my body. I don't understand most of them because I'm not a medical person, but it can feel remarkable. And that's not beyond me. That's sort of beyond my comprehension, how all these systems can, for the most part, work well together. Now, many people and some Buddhists have much more certain ideas about what is spiritual, how this existence works, how to explain experiences that are beyond our rational understanding. Now, as I thought about this, death came up again, because death, in my mind, is the great mystery. And this trying to explain it, what happens after death? Does anything happen after death, or do we just disappear? It all seems pretty mysterious to me when people and animals that I love die, and then it's just like they've disappeared. And before that, they were very central to my life, often more so when close to death, and then gone. Where did they go? And then there's the ones that are getting born. Where did they come from? I don't know. But what I do experience is that witnessing the births and deaths that I've witnessed, something feels really deep, something feels profound, and strangely, even at death, uplifting to me. So, as I've said, I prefer not to explain this. I prefer to live in the mystery. Though curiously, this morning, the New York Times, you know how they not just the New York Times, sort of many journals have like the best of the year, and so I got an email about the best of the year, and this video was there, which intrigued me. It was one of the best videos of the year, and it was about a hamlet in Western New York State, and in the whole hamlet, they believe death does not exist. And in fact, that's the criteria for moving in to this hamlet. You need to believe in mediums, and that death does not exist, and mediums can connect you with the not gone people. But here was the really interesting thing about it to me, because they say in this video that back in the 1880s, they were open to really new ideas, this hamlet, including women's rights. And apparently, according to the video, many suffragettes visited this town, including Susan B. Anthony, because mediumship was very appealing to women at the time, because it gave them careers that they would not otherwise been able to have. Now, that's an interesting, complicated statement of conditionality in my mind. Now, Tibetan Buddhists also have very clear ideas about what happens after death and the rituals that the living need to do to accompany the dead through the bardo, the after death experiences. And I'd say most religions also have clear ideas about what happens after death. But reflective meditation doesn't. Instead, as is our usual, we're interested in your views. Again, my view is I don't know what happens. And I'm very committed to this view, just like others are wed to their views. I really like my I don't know, because it feels the most honest and wide open. Now, something that's very unknown might happen, something beyond what I could even construct with my imagination, or it could be the more materialistic view that upon my death, there's nothing more. I don't know. And of course, death is not the only area where our spiritual views lie. I meditate, and I've meditated, I'd say, all these decades because I've had experiences quite unexpected, sometimes, not most of the time, but sometimes. And so I love this. And I choose other things in my life that put me in touch with the unexpected. And the unexpected really does seem to me like a sibling to the mysterious.
Mhm.
So I'm going to end there, end the talk, and we'll begin to meditate and see what expected or unexpected things arise.